Hello, first grade students. Happy Thanksgiving. It's just around the corner. And today, in honor of Thanksgiving, we are going to draw a turkey because that is a symbol of Thanksgiving. A symbol is something that comes to mind when you think of the holiday. Now, we're going to create a turkey. And this idea comes from a lady in California named Patty, and she runs an awesome art company called Deep Space Sparkle. And this idea comes from California, from Patty at Deep Space Sparkle. So today we are going to start with our paper. Now, you're not going to have this turkey like this yet. You will begin by, on the back of your paper, I want you to write your name at the corner. Make it small. You don't want it too big. So my name is Miss Highland. I'm going to write my name down at the bottom. Write the first letter of your teacher's name or all of your teacher's name. So if your teacher is Miss Tanksley, you would write a T. If your teacher is Miss Campbell, you would write a C. If your teacher is Miss Wagner, you would write a W. If your teacher's name is, well, whatever your teacher's name is, you need to use the letter that her name starts with. That's so we don't get our papers mixed up. And I know which paper belongs to you. So I'm going to erase those examples and you put your teacher here. Now, to begin, you want to trace a circle. So our shape that we're using for the turkey's head is a circle. There's several shapes on here that you will see. The circle is a geometric shape. The triangle for his mouth is a geometric shape. And the part under his neck, I call that a gobbler. That's a free-form shape. And then we also have another shape here, which is almost like a half circle or a circle missing part of it. This is a free-form shape, and then we have his feet. Those are also free-form shapes, and the feathers are also organic free-form shapes. We're going to begin by tracing his head. On the paper, I want you to come about here with a cup. Now, you don't want to be too high or his feathers won't fit, and you don't want to come too low or his body's not going to fit. So you want it to be right about here. So I want you to sort of fiddle around with your cup and make sure that it's in a position that is in the correct location. So I would say about here is a good fit. Taking that, trace a circle with a pencil around that cup. Lift your cup and your circle should be about here. When you draw lightly, it's easier to erase. Remember that. It's the artist's touch. I want you inside of his mouth to go ahead and draw a straight line. That straight line is near the middle of his face. This is the beginning of his beak. When you draw that line, you're going to draw a diagonal line. And on the other side, you're going to attach another diagonal line meeting at a point. Now, if you were to turn this paper over, you would see a triangle. So this shape is like an upside down triangle. So straight line, diagonal line, and stop. So for the eyes, we're just going to draw two small dots. We'll go back later and make those dots bigger with a crayon. Now the body is a little tricky because you don't have anything to trace the body. You are figuring out how the body looks on your own. So sometimes I practice first with my fingers. If I want the body to be smaller, I come in up a little high from the bottom. If I want it to be fatter, I come out wider. And I practice with my fingers first, seeing kind of how I want his body to be. So I start here at the corner of his head. I come down around and I stop. There's another way you can do that, is you can draw one side and then draw the other side. I'm pretty happy with his body. I like how it's shaped, so I'm going to leave it like that. After I draw his body, I'm going to go down and draw his feet. His feet are one line, two lines. these two lines coming out. Then on this side, draw one line coming out and another line coming out. This is called a thick line. These two small lines put together are going to make his thick leg. You're going to attach these lines by making three humps, which will be an arch. So one, like a rainbow, two, and three. That's his foot. We're going to do that again. 1, 2, and 3. Now come back up to his face, and we're going to draw what I call his gobbler. When he goes gobble, 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 it wiggles. So how to do that is similar to his feet. You start here, and you go 1, 2, and 3, and touch the edge of his face. Start here at the edge, come down, up, and stop, stop, stop. 1, 2, 3. Now the feathers. I have 1, 2, 3 feathers on top and 2 feathers on the side of his face. You start by drawing a straight line from the top of his head. Then draw a diagonal line on the side of his head. And draw another diagonal line. 1, 2, 3. Now coming out of his cheek, draw another line. On his other cheek, draw one more line. Down at the side of his head, draw one line coming out and a line coming out. Now your lines do not have to be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as well. Go to the top of the turkey's head. Draw an arch line and touch the circle. Arch the line again and touch the circle. Go here. 1, 2. Go over here again. Come to the top, bring your line down, connect. 1, 2, 3. If you want to make his feathers bigger, you can draw another line going around it like this if you want to. That makes his feathers look a little more full. I'll finish this one. Now, this is called overlapping. There's a feather behind this feather, but we don't want to draw through the feather. We want to start at the edge of the feather, connect it to this edge, and then connect it again and stop. There's a feather behind his body, but we don't want to show that. If you want to go around the feathers again with a line like this, you can. You don't have to do this. This is just to make my feathers look more full. Remember, I overlap. I don't go behind that line. I go touch the edge of it. Connect. Then inside of your turkey, I want you to draw circles. This is a half circle. It means part of the circle isn't shown. Turkey is done. Now notice my turkeys, both of them are a little different. This turkey looks different than this turkey, and that's okay. If you would prefer to make a turkey like this with longer feathers, you can. This turkey has shorter feathers because I made his feather lower and I made this feather taller. I made the line taller. So that's how you can kind of change the turkey's shape. Now for this, we're going to outline it using metallic crayons. These are so special. These are crayons that we don't normally use in class. So when you open the box, I want you to be very gentle. And when you open them, please make sure they end up back in the box the correct way. So I'm going to get a brown metallic crayon, and I am going to trace everything that I did in brown. This is called outlining. I'm going to trace his head, and I'm not coloring this in because we are going to paint this later. We're not coloring it in, we're painting it later. Now I'm going to take out my red. I'm going to go over his gobbler in red, brown and red, and then I'm going to go through his beak with orange and make diagonal lines across his beak. And his polka dots, they can be any color you want. I'm going to circle mine purple. His feet, I'm going to trace and make them brown. And his feathers, I'm going to use black. Then I'm going to go here with red, orange, and yellow and create diagonal lines for his feathers. And I'm actually not going to use orange and red. I'm just going to use yellow. Later on, I can paint with orange and red for his feathers. And I can also go in here and I leave it like this. We're going to go in and paint these next time. So what you should have today is a crayon outline, and we'll go in next time with paint and cover the turkey and fill him in with color. So today we're going to stop here, and next time you're going to paint your turkey in.